Hi everyone, my name is Matt. You are watching Casual Physics. Thanks for being here. Today I want to talk to you about cold fusion, which is my standard thing I'm talking about at the moment. It's not the only thing I'm interested in, by the way, but this is my current focus. I want to tell you first of all about how I first came across cold fusion, because I'm a little bit embarrassed by it, but I think it's good to talk about the things that we're embarrassed by. So I came across cold fusion in 2011, and this and 2011. It's a long time after 1989 when the original cold fusion experiments took place. So 2011, what was I doing then? I was still doing. No, I'd come back from my postdoc. So I did my PhD. That was Imperial College. It was 2005 to 2009. I went to Sweden, Chalmers University, to do my postdoc. This is all still doing hot fusion research. That's 2009 to 2011. Came back to London. I got a fellowship at Imperial College, and I spent a few years there. So it was when I was in my first year of my junior research fellowship, and a guy called Andrea Rossi, an Italian guy, he announced that he'd succeeded in doing cold fusion. So it's kind of you can think of that as the first cold fusion reboot. You can think of it that way. And it was in the news, and it was circulating around various physics departments. And I remember having some conversations with some plasma physics friends of mine. So when I say plasma, you can think of that as hot fusion. And basically, I just dismissed it, almost out of hand, without even going and looking at the data, which I'm kind of a bit ashamed about, because I wasn't being a scientist, actually. If I was being a scientist, I would have gone and taken a look at what Rossi was talking about. Or maybe I would have at least gone back and had a look at some of the original work of Fleischmann Pons, but I didn't. I decided, through having some conversation with friends, colleagues over coffee, we all decided, actually, not just me, we all decided that it was just nonsense, crackpot science, the usual. And I don't know, the reason I'm telling you that is because in the last video I talked about some of the things that the skeptics would talk about, and I wanted to, in a sense, put myself among them, because I have been them, and I think we can all be like that from time to time. And there are various reasons for that. So one of them is, you're kind of busy, right? So when I was doing my fellowship, I had my own research to do, and I didn't feel like I had the time to think about a whole new area and go and do digging and all that stuff. It's more convenient for me to believe that it's all crackpot science, so that I can just carry on with my research. But even actually, as I say that, it feels like an excuse. I just was not being a good scientist. And actually, since that time, and it was not really, let me think, I really came back to cold fusion. It was 2015, 2016, when I read a book called Excess Heat by Baudet, that I really started to think in a different way about cold fusion. And, it was from 2011 to now, right? It's been a slow process of, opening up my mind a bit more to at least entertain the possibility that cold fusion could be real. Again, I haven't seen it for myself yet. That's why I'm doing my experiments. But just to allow my mind to open up to have the possibility that it could be real, that was, in a sense, a training that I had to do. So I've been there. I've dismissed without giving it a second thought, but now I'm trying to be a lot more open. So that is my cold fusion origin story, you might say. As I say, a little bit embarrassing, but I think it's good to talk about those things, because I think a lot of people will have done what I did, and not just in the context of cold fusion, probably in any controversial area of science. I think there is that tendency for us to cling to what we know. It's the conservative tendency, actually, of the human mind, which it does serve us well sometimes, because when somebody does come up with something that is genuinely crazy, holding on to the existing paradigms, what we know to be true, it's helpful. It provides a kind of a filtering. But when we want to make breakthroughs, when we want to discover, when we want to be explorers, we have to, in a sense, suspend that conservative part of our brain to allow ourselves to believe that there is something that we don't understand. And of course, there are so many things we don't understand, right? That's the nature of being here in this universe. We are kind of monkey creatures, and we've got so much left to unearth about how nature does her thing. So yeah, I'll wrap this up now, and next video I'll perhaps come back and talk to you about how I went from there to now and what I'm doing now, because it's not just the experiments that I'm doing. I'm also working on some theory stuff as well with people at MIT. So more on that next time. Stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.